Yes, welcome to the first edition of the Milton Bell Show with host, of course, Milton Bell, and I am Aaron Turner, and we have some wonderful legends and all the good stuff in the house tonight on MLK Day, and I hope you guys had a wonderful MLK Day, and I hope you guys as well done something to commemorate the legacy of MLK. So, without further ado, we're going to turn over to our guests, and they're going to introduce themselves, starting with to my near left.
Yes, my name is Ray Neville. First of all, I'm thankful to be here, man. Real proud of Milton. I'm real glad that he's conscious enough to have somebody like myself on the show. My name is Raymond Neville. I'm the founder and the director of Inner City Basketball. I'm just thankful to be here today.
And my name is Clarence McGill. I'm Milton's cousin by marriage.
Okay.
And I also appreciate the honor of being here today. And I'm going to probably talk about some of my history dealing with NCAA football rules and the racial piece behind some of the changes we made, and all that was in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay. And I love how you wrap that up with Martin Luther King. I love that. I love that. So while you talking, we're going to start with you. So tell the audience about, about you and, your whole thing. I know you have a book, but, we'll talk more about that. So let's just get the history of, I personally just found out who you really were, because like you said, Milton Cousin. I thought you was Milton Cousin. But now I know about the Syracuse 8, and so just give the audience of who you are.
Well, quickly, I'm from upstate New York, Binghamton, New York. I went to school in that area and played a lot of sports in high school, and had the opportunity to excel in football and received a full grant and aid scholarship in football at Syracuse University. And this was in the late 60s. During that time, the late 60s, this country was in a tumultuous situation. Different terms. You could say Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Elijah Muhammad, Kent State, Woodstock. I mean, it was just a time of great emotion. Being a college athlete at Syracuse University, I was a defensive end, and there were some racial issues that were discovered. And there were 4 issues that we really focused on. We wanted a black coach. Syracuse never had a black coach in its 100-year history.
Wow.
We wanted equal medical treatment, which we were having problems in terms of a white-black differentiation. We wanted better academic advisement. Our academic advisors were coaches, and they just wanted to keep us eligible to play. They didn't want us to matriculate and graduate. And we wanted to play ball and be starting or playing. Our playing time was more based on merit than race. And that's the way it was in those particular times. So what we did, we boycotted the team in the late 60s. We sacrificed our professional careers, but we changed NCAA college sports forever, we feel. And so we have captured some of that history and some of those situations in a book called Leveling the Playing Field, the story of the Syracuse 8. There were 9 of us that boycotted the team in the late 60s. The press just called it the Syracuse 8. They labeled us the Syracuse 8. And it was a national situation that was pretty much exposed the inequities and the unequalness in regards to college sports at that particular time. Jim Brown wrote the foreword to the book. I wrote a piece of the book. We all that are the living members. The three of us are passed on living members. I wrote pieces in the book about our situation and how we perceive what was going on. The book was authored by a gentleman named David Mark, who is a very good writer out of the Syracuse University Press environment, and we were just ostracized in terms of pro football, and we were ostracized, just in terms of some of our dreams. And subsequent years later, the university gave us the Medal of Courage. It's called the Syracuse University Extraordinary Medal of Courage, where they apologized to us, and once they regurgitated the history over many, many years, and that was about 30-something years later, they gave us that type of accolade. And that's basically the story of the book, how we persevered in a period where civil rights and civil disobedience was the name of the game in terms of people of color. So that's basically, that's basically it in a nutshell.
Okay. And, I want to go back to some of that caught me. You say the medical attention. So if I guess the black players got hurt, you guys didn't get the same medical attention as the white players.
Well, the medical that's part of it, but the medical services at that time were poor for everybody.
Okay.
So it's ironic you mentioned that, because we wanted medical treatment in general for everybody.
Okay.
Our the head of the medical staff during my time of playing football at Syracuse University was a gynecologist. His name was Doc Peel.
Wow.
And he was just friends with the football coach, and our coach was the famed Ben Schwarzwater at that time. And so it was very difficult. When I went in there and saw him, the first time I met Doc Pelo, I swore I would never get hurt. I would never get seriously hurt, because he wouldn't touch me.
Wow.
And I never got seriously hurt.
Wow.
So you had to hit harder, everybody, not to get hurt.
Wow.
But he was a quack.
Right.
But he was tight with Ben Schwarzwater. He was tight with J. Edgar Hoover. They were all tight.
He was that deep.
Yes, he was that deep. But he was a poor. He really didn't know anything about college athletic medical treatment. So that's just the way it was.
Wow.
And they all knew it. I got a good friend, Joe Ehrman, who was Baltimore Colts for years, and he was he was a white guy on the team, and he went to the Baltimore. He went to the Buffalo. Excuse me, he was the Buffalo Bills, and he went to the Buffalo Bill organization and got his operation versus dealing with our own thing.
Wow.
So this all in the book. So
Yeah. So what do you see now in? I know it's a huge difference in college athletics now. So what do you see that we still need to improve in college athletics? I know it's many, but if we can narrow it down.
Well, for me, I think it's academic advisement.
Okay.
There's a lot of college athletes. There are college athletes that are participating in NCAA college sports that are there in terms of just playing ball. And a lot of our kids will say, I want to get to the league, or I want to play in the NBA, I want to play in the NFL. And they're not really understanding that your percentage is low.
To that, yeah.
So I think there has to be a real focus on matriculating through college, through the universities, and we have to help our students understand the magnitude of actually graduating and the hard work it takes to graduate. I think that's a problem, because all these major college programs just want to win.
Right.
So, and some of that's understandable. Because if you got to eat, you got to win.
Money,
If you're going to win, you're going to eat. But on the other hand, as black folks, we can't afford that. We must be able to sharpen our skills in order for us to be productive.
Okay. I'm gonna throw that on there. Everybody on there. You know, but Ray can talk about that too. Yeah, but when we talk with Ray, you gonna talk about that as well. And Milton, definitely, you can talk about that. So, what's your view on that? Now, I guess coming from, kind of the overseas market, and you know, me and you talk all the time about we sending kids overseas and not prepared, or kids got these dreams of, I'm gonna play ball overseas. So what's your take on that?
First of all, I want to say thank you to my brothers Raymond Nevlin and Clarence McGill for being here today. Two of my brothers in what I consider the war on kids. And so these two have actually influenced me more than they actually know by their work with kids and what they've been doing, their career, and just giving back and positive energy towards the human race. And so before I go any further, I really want to thank those guys for taking time out of their day to be here, for having my cousin Evelyn McGill to bring Clarence by. She's here with us as well. To kind of piggyback off of what Clarence said, he pretty much said it all. I'm sure that, especially from our generation, us four are a little bit older than today's generation, and we've seen the changes for the better. Kind of like Clarence said, back in his day playing football, one of the small challenges was just getting medical attention. And so I think us guys from where we've been and to where we've come, we can see that wasn't just maybe a racial thing. It was just the medical attention or the technology was not available. So that was one of the main things that stood out to me. Just wondering, how could you survive if you were hurt? Football is a very violent sport. And so you're going to have your nicks, you're going to have your cuts and your bruises, your broken bones. And so, like he said, he did the best he could to not get hurt. And so I'm sure that gives you a different outlook on that sport that you're playing, because you're playing for the fun of it, you're playing to win, but of course you're playing not to get hurt. And so I'm sure he knew in the back of his mind that, hey, if I'm hurt in any kind of way and can I take this field, that there were a number of guys lined up from Binghamton, New York, who were looking to take his place. So that puts you in a mind frame of every day just not being able to go 100% because you know that you can't afford to get hurt. And so out of all that he said, I think that stood out to me the most, like you said as well. It's times have definitely changed, but now it seems as though, I won't say the minority athletes, but the athlete in general, you know that if you're fortunate enough to make it to college, or if you're fortunate enough to make it to a high school team, that in case you do get hurt, whether it be in your hometown, on that team, or what have you, there are 12 guys waiting to take your place. So I think that's what stood out to me most about what he just said.
Definitely. We're going to end off with you, Clarence. So where can we get your book?
Our book's on Amazon, so you can look up at Amazon.
Okay.
Again, it's called Leveling the Playing Field, the story of the Syracuse 8. Jim Brown wrote the foreword. Jim Brown, for those of you who don't know, he's an actor, and he was probably one of the greatest, arguably one of the greatest football players of all time. And Jim Brown was a part of this Syracuse 8 event in terms of we both had the same coach.
Okay.
Even though I was a few years later, and he came back and tried to negotiate and regulate what was going down when we went through our boycott. Because we decided to boycott the team because of those 4 issues that I mentioned earlier. And so Jim Brown came back and tried to negotiate and mediate, and it just couldn't be done. So Jim Brown wrote the foreword to the book, and he's been a great supporter of our book, and in everything that we've done, for many, many years now.
Okay. And we will be having you back, both you guys actually, because I want to hear more about it. So now, up next will be Ray. So tell us about, what you do.
First of all, I'm Ray Neville. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. I'm from the inner city, so I played a lot of basketball, played a lot of sports, got a lot of help as a youth, and that help from the community and from my family put me in a position to get a scholarship playing basketball. I played high school football as well as basketball, ran track, played tennis, everything. And the reason why I did some of those things now in hindsight is because of the environment and neighborhood I lived in. I did anything I could at school to be participating in something with positive people, right? So went to Virginia Union University, played for the legendary Coach Robbins, one of the people that helped save my life, and you'll hear more about that. Later on I come back, not to try to make a long story short, man. I went to Virginia Union, won some championships, played with some great guys, made some great friends, man. Became part of that Virginia Union family, which later on supported me throughout my whole life. Went to Virginia Union University, got out of Union in '87. 1991, I found myself in court, facing 25 years, facing a life sentence actually. I got 25 years in the courtroom that day, and it changed my entire life. It humbled me so much. It hurt me so much that I hurt so many different people, right? So to speed the story up, by the time I came home in prison in 2005, I left the streets in 1991. Came home in 2005. I was 26 when I went to prison. I was 40 when I came home. So I came home, got myself reestablished, reacclimated to society. A lot of great people helped me, man. There's too many to name, but a lot of people stepped up and helped me because they saw the compassion that I had to make up for these mistakes, to make up for the things that I was taught that I refused to do, for letting the streets get control of my life and my thinking, knowing better and still doing different. For all those things that, for whatever reason, those things happened to me. Because I learned in my life, man, that it's, when fate happens, when something happens, man, it's how you get up from it. And it's hard getting up from stuff. So I said all that to say, brother, when I came home from prison, I got, I have education. So I started working in the fields with my, the things I studied in school. So I started going to the schools, working in the schools, working as a counselor, one-to-one counselor. Because I saw, when I came home, I realized the kids was really, seemed like the kids didn't have an ideology. It seemed like everybody was just going for whatever was going. Kids was literally getting on the wrong bus in life. Like I tell kids all the time, one of the things I say at my camp is that we trying to transform the inner city by transforming the inner man, what's inside of the kids. They won't listen to that voice inside of them anymore. It's like everybody is some type of android or something. Right. Everybody going for whatever the style is, whatever's going on in society and make us feel good. That's what the kids was doing. And it really bothered me. I was one-to-one counselor at Armstrong High School, man. This is when I believe God impregnated me with the vision of having inner city basketball camp. All the kids was talking about AAU basketball. And most of these kids didn't have any money, any support system. Most of them was making all F's in school and this, and it was really, really sad for me. But I couldn't talk to but one child at this school. So I was one-to-one counselor. By law, there's no need for me to try to talk to somebody else's child that I'm not supposed to be talking to. But I saw and could help them. It was killing me. I could sit in that class. I could say something to these kids that was basic, fundamental life stuff. Nothing therapeutic about it. You know what it was? Sit down, man. You disrespecting that teacher. You disrespecting that woman. See, something like that cut right through all of your style, all of your Gucci belts, all of your, everything you got on, everything you thinking is really important. When I point out to you that that could be your mama standing at that board trying to show you how to read, and you are disrespecting her, and I'm telling you the look that God gave me to get him wasn't a mean look. Wasn't like I'm about to beat you up or do nothing like that. It was a I feel sorry for you look. I thank God for allowing me to be able to look like that sometimes. I do, man, because I'm telling you, it will help you because somebody, and her name was Juanita Neville, she could look at me. That's my mother. I'm the youngest of 10 children. I looked at this list today that I saw the questions, and one of the questions was, I know I'm getting off key. One of the questions was, tell us something that you proud of, that you accomplished in your life. And I can't even say I accomplished it. I'm telling you, God did it. And I'm not a very religious person, but I'm very spiritual. Listen, man, my mom got 10 children. I am the number 10. Man, I'm so proud of that. I wore number 10 all my life. I've been arguing with somebody. They won't let me wear jersey because I knew then. I didn't know how special, what that was. I didn't realize that. But I'm telling you something, man. There's nothing more important to me than a family because I realize now looking at so many kids with these fake uncles and fake aunts. Who is that? That's Uncle Joe. That's Uncle John. That's Daddy John. That's the people, our lineage, talking about Martin Luther King. We are broke down from so many different directions. Only a spiritual help can help us understand anything about education or anything. People that have no education back then with Martin Luther King, they understand we need to go outside today. They have a GED up in the whole house. Nobody in there had the education, okay? But they understood struggle. So we have to go back to the basic stuff. So get back on point. I'm working in the schools, man, and I tried to be a coach. I tried to get involved, but my record was stopping me from moving forward. Even though I had education, even though people knew from playing basketball, I know Mr. Clarence. Mr. Clarence, let me tell you something, man. Mr. Clarence is coming to my camp this summer. This is the 10th year for my camp. I'm going to bring straight up power in there. But right now, what's going on in our society with all of the hate, see, love is in need of love right now because hate is everywhere. Everybody feel mad. Everybody feel depressed. And they got good reason, brother. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good reason for everybody to be nervous and feel some kind of way right now. Everybody should feel something right now. If you don't, then you ain't looking at no TV. You're not involved with any kind of community at all. You don't have a family or nothing. If you're not worrying about what he's talking about now. But I know this show is not about that, so I'm going to stick with the point.
It's you. It's you.
Go ahead about what you say. The point I'm trying to tell you, man, is that I saw a need that scared me. And I'm telling you, man, God impregnated me with something. He said, Raymond, you don't need no money. Raymond, you don't need no kind of money. I kept saying, how the world I'm going to have a camp? I said, I'm going to have me a basketball camp. I want to talk to the kids. I want to explain to them my story. I want to talk to them about the decisions and how to make decisions. I knew these things. I was taught these things, but I refused to do it myself. I could not save myself from myself, but I certainly can use whatever pain, whatever ideology, whatever I learned. I refused to let that time that I was taken away from my family and my society and my community be in vain. I refused to do that because I was raised by somebody, man, that I'm telling you could look at you like I explained I look at kids sometimes. And she still is, and it's an inside job. So I try to explain to our kids. Anyway, okay, so I have a basketball camp. The basketball camp, I have 300-something kids, man. God blessed it so much. The first year, we was at the Calhoun Center, 2009. By the way, 2018 is our 10th year having a totally free camp with life skills, speakers, the best food. Nobody paid anything. I love it. And one of the first things I say to the kids when they come in there, if you pay to come here, raise your hand. And no, so every once in a while, one of the kids that ain't listening to raise their hand. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. I want to help them focus so much in on life, but we don't have any time to play at all, especially as a black kid in poverty, with the systematic stuff that keeps you there, with all of the death traps and all of the traps that can trap them. I'm not taking up on them. At some point, I believe personally, I'm not no psychiatrist now, but I believe at 15 years old, a child should not have not one excuse no more that he can't motivate himself. Okay, I got a bad mama, Mr. Neville. I know, man. I know that, but you're 15, you can get a job, but you got to get them going. We can't let them sit right there. Yes. Okay, so when I had 10 brothers and sisters, so I can't really I never knew I was poor till I was about 14 years old. We lived in Gibbon Court. I'm telling you right now, man, I did not realize, because I had a mama that was rich up in that house with a spirit of God. I'm telling you, man, one of the proudest moments I ever had was walking up the street to 6 Mount Zion Church from Baker Schoolyard where we played ball at, they had a little bridge across the highway then, right over there in Gibson Court. They take you over there to 6 Mile Zion Church, right? Too many people got killed on that bridge, so they knocked that down. But the point I'm making is the music from 6 Mile Zion Church would come all the way across the water, all the way across that highway with all them trucks and everything running and sat right there in my spirit.
Wow.
Man, let me tell you something. I put a move on somebody one time on the basketball court, man. And I knew it was from the song I was listening to, but from what they was playing over there, man. And I couldn't explain to you today, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I know something happened to me that day. The next Sunday, I was at that church getting baptized. I went home that day, told my mama, I'm getting baptized. She said, what in the world you talking about? But no, she said, somebody go get Raymond a white outfit. Let me tell you something. My mama won't know remember that church. Right? But I'm telling you, if you can introduce somebody to their spirit, they got a better chance in America today than almost introducing them to the NCAA or scholarship or whatever that. Because I'm telling you something, your basketball game or your football game might get you to college, but your behaviors and your morals and what you stand for as a person is going to keep you there or advance you. So no need for you to send me up to a school without morals. No need to send me up to no class without something to eat in my stomach first. There's no need, ma'am, for you to curse all around me, then expect me to get to school and not curse. There's no need, miss, for you to get mad at everything at home and send me to school, expect I'm not going to be able to, every time somebody says something, I'm mad too. We're sending a bunch of mad people somewhere. And our kids deserve so much more. It's more love in the world than hate. It is love will always beat hate. Why wouldn't you tell a child that? So what you care about, Ray? Basketball? Yeah, it's about basketball, but we have life skills, and I am determined. Now, say it again. I am totally determined to transform every kid I see. We've had this camp, 300 and some kids, man. You ought to see it. And the people that haven't seen it, right? The people that haven't been able to connect to the concept of my camp. Somebody think I'm trying to show somebody how to dribble, you know, because I could dribble. So somebody think that I'm trying to show somebody how to shoot, because I can shoot. See, they think that's what it is, but it's not. It's an inside job. So we transform the inner city by transforming the kids' hearts and their soul and told them how to be respectful. People can't help you, man. You got some disrespect going on. So we attack the behaviors that lead up to the stats. There's people like Mr. Clarence and them is there in them courts trying to help us now. See? This man right here ain't just no football player, man.
Right.
I could, if he just played football and played for Syracuse, set up some ring on, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
See, he got a story, and I need him to come over there and tell them that before he leave this earth, and don't nobody else be able to talk about him. It's sad.
I'll be there.
And we do that stuff. See, we got legends walking around us. We got kids. We work with somebody. Somebody asked me, and I'm telling you, here's my roommate, man. And this dude here showed me so much. His name was Charles Oakley, man. When I was at Virginia Union, man, Coach Robbins. Man, let me tell you something, man. Some people put me in position for some stuff, man. And we got to put these kids in position. I would have never met Charles Oakley had I not played summer league with Bo Jones and Coach Booker and them guys that was our coach. They put us in them summer league, right? So I met Coach Robbins. Then I ended up meeting Charles Oakley. Put me on the summer league with him. We and him just started being all right with each other. It wasn't that he got me a scholarship. My own ability got me the scholarship. The principles and the principles that my mom was pushing is what kept me there. Not because I was some scholar. It wasn't that. Somebody wanted to see this kid from Gibbon Court make it, and they spent time tutoring me and trying to help me. They never asked me for no money. All they wanted me to do, man, was what is right. So I teach the kids the fundamentals of life and the fundamentals of basketball. I'm not going to turn you into Allen Iverson. I'm not going to turn you into that. I'm not going to be responsible for what God does to an athlete. See, people think, and they got a bunch of gyms around here. I'm looking at it all the time online. I'm looking at the struggles of the parents to pay somebody for a game that's free and coaches that don't know nothing about life to tell your child. So you got somebody, and then I said it before, I love AAU. It is a great place for kids to showcase their talent and their behaviors. You have to be a student athlete to succeed in AAU. Nobody's taking you to Norfolk, Brazil, or wherever they're going to play basketball if they can't trust you on that bus. If they can't trust you around something, can't take you in the store and you don't steal nothing. Look at the little boy Ball from Los Angeles, man.
Yeah.
See, somebody think about something other than the fundamentals of life when they're raising him. And God bless his parents. And I'm telling you, I've seen enough kids without a parent, without a dad, without a mom, to talk about Mr. Ball. I cannot say one word about Mr. Ball, but I'm going to tell you something, man. You're going to get what you make.
Right.
It's not a blueprint to raise kids. I don't proclaim to have that one. Right. But I was raised by somebody that put down for 10 children. Well, I see somebody today running around here scrambling with one child, standing somewhere like they can't work, or standing somewhere like they don't know what to do, right, and all of that. And that's really bad. It's really, really hard. And I'm not knocking no parents. All I'm doing is telling you my perspective. Why my camp is free. I get personal people to help me with that. People, the police department, the VCU trauma unit. Why you get them, Ray? Because that's where all these kids going. That they don't want to get their behaviors in line, that they can go with normal society. I'm trying to teach somebody how to do that, man. I'm trying to push people into trade schools. Everybody can't go to college, man. Right. So I'm telling our kids an option. I want to give them hope. I could care less if anybody ever dunk a ball again, man. Because dunking the ball and stealing the ball and all that I did in college, what I did on the playground, that people, talk about to this day, it was a blessing. God wanted you to see me, and he wanted you to see what I did to get where I'm going. And all of it ain't good. I didn't make it playing by the rules. I come up hard, and that's a fact. But that's okay. It's where I'm at now. See, I got a burning desire to help as many kids as I can. Somebody asked me one time, I said, "Now, did you get to something like do you feel good for what you did? Do you feel like you owe the world something?" I don't owe anybody anything. I was delivered. If you feel like you got some kind of debt with me or I have a debt with you, you must be crazy. I paid my debt to society. They sure enough ain't give me parole. I was in prison with George Allen. We should have a show on that. How they destroyed all of the taxpayers' money from 1995 all the way to this day. With all these prisons that they built waiting for somebody to make a mistake. Because half the people that's in prison ain't never made one mistake.
Privatized.
And I'm definitely not going to take up for nobody that have been to prison. We have to all pay our debt to society. I am so proud of Chloe Lawrence and people that is trying to help shine a light on positive brothers that made bad mistakes. Let me tell you something, man. I tell them guys when I go to the reentry program, one bad decision got me 14 bad years of my life. One bad night, one bad decision. I want nobody running around doing all this, doing all that. But because I got locked up, when there was no parole, so they changed the whole system of parole in the state of Virginia. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So I was caught up in a political thing. I wasn't a political prisoner because I showed up committed a crime that sent me to prison. Now I'm the first one that tell people in these programs, wherever I go and talk to kids, or if I go to the healing place, different places talk. And I tell them, man, you got to have acceptance of yourself, what you are today, right where you are. If you're around people that love you, they're going to accept where you are, but they're going to help you get somewhere else.
Definitely.
So how you do that, Ray? I didn't do anything but the next right thing. That's why I'm sitting right here beside Mr. Clarence. That's why Mr. Clarence is looking like he can't wait to get to the camp because Mr. Clarence is pregnant with the stuff too. Right. He's sitting around having. I'm talking about ideology pregnant. I ain't talking about pregnant physically, man. I'm talking about a spiritual thing that goes on and won't leave you alone until you do something about it. See, you can't go to sleep. You can't lay down. You ain't hungry. You don't feel like going to no club. Man, let me tell you something, man. It feels like God sit me somewhere in some type of lab. And I know some people might say, well, never, you got a lot of compassion about it, but how you going, you barely got jobs yourself. How in the world is you going to have a camp of 300 kids and nobody don't pay nothing, man? You sound ridiculous, man. I'm telling you, and I hope everybody felt that pause in my voice because that was one number God shooting right to your radio, shooting right past your TV screen or wherever this is on, whether the radio, wherever it is, man. I'm going to tell you something, I'm dead serious about it. And I'm so proud to know the whole history of Dr. Martin Luther King. I am so proud that I had a parent that would take time, right? It wasn't no Black History Month at this time I'm talking about. Yeah. They had that. They didn't have that. It was her. She was giving me the principles of life. She was showing me the fundamentals of life. She never showed me nothing about basketball. That was all the coaches of the world. I thank them so much. And all the kids and all the coaches need to really give themselves a round of applause. And I'm going to tell you something, man. What Dr. King means to me is nonviolence. Yeah. See, what he means to me is somebody that have patience and endure things. Somebody that can stand up when somebody else won't say nothing for you. Somebody will put their life in danger to help you. So, no, I'm not Dr. Luther King. I'm so proud to know his history. I'm going to tell you something. All of us have a little bit of that in us. Because I'm going to tell you, man, going to Gifford Court, going to Fairfield, going to Creighton Court these days and times, you know, it's really rough, man. It's really rough, man. But I'm telling you, I know that the people of Richmond understand what I'm doing. I know there's other camps, but they have to see that this camp can't never be charged. I can't never charge nobody for it. Right. I can never do that. It's going to take all of the guts out of see, let me say something. It's something really, really, really special about something that's free, man. See, and I refuse to give them anything that's not quality. So dude said, Ray, I'm going to help you get the t-shirts. Just let me know how much it is. I slapped that paper on his desk. His eyeball shot up in the air. He said, Ray, you don't need to get this kind of material. Ray, you don't need to get all them different colors on the t-shirt. Ray, we can get the gear and t-shirt. Let me tell you something, man. Because these kids in the projects, because the inner city kids, somebody ain't helping them, they lack getting quality stuff. Right. So they'll wear fake Gucci belt then. See, they want to look like something. They want to be something. They want to have something, man. It ain't their fault. In other words, if I got two parents, I got a parent up in that house, she's getting some food stamps, or she's getting some assistance from the state or wherever she's getting it from. I had a parent that understood that was mine. She wouldn't take it up the street and try to sell it. She wouldn't loan it to nobody. She would not buy food for me and get somebody else something to eat. She would not go to no club with the money from the welfare people. She don't need no shoes on her feet. She'll go get her shoes fixed. Wow. See, we have to give the children what they're supposed to get. And I'm telling you, God will bless the rest. If you're going up the street broke somewhere then, woman, or going up the street, going somewhere else, get you a cigarette from somewhere, man. Sacrifice your life for your kids. See, and I tell kids that there's people in the world that are sacrifice. They don't have to be your mom. They don't have to be your dad. They don't have to be your mom. They don't have to be them. I'm introducing them and plugging them into all the agencies and all the people that's positive in this entire world. I had a little boy came all the way from Houston, Texas, to this camp. His name was Iffy. He had cancer. Tell you something, man. It's so much that can be done. And we have to unify all of everybody sitting somewhere with an idea in the pocket. I got my idea. I ain't going to tell you my idea. I got an idea too. Everybody got 50 different thousand coaches out here, man. We need to unify for the inner city kids. We have a program for the kids that's not so much well to do, because there's some AAU parents struggling to pay that stuff too. But I'm just saying, our kids are sitting over here every summer. That's why I have it in the summer. They said, wait, why you have a camp every week or every... Listen, man, did Picasso paint 1,000,000 pictures? Did he do that? No, he didn't. He got about 17 pictures somewhere, and everybody's trying to get them. So I have a camp once a year so we can put something in their head, give them all the quality stuff that we can possibly give them, all they love, and try to prepare them up to school, because school starts right after the camp. Try to get them up there with some positive stuff from the community, showing they got love. And the main thing, man, is doing what Dr. King did, man. Gave us hope, man. See, I want to give them some hope. I want them to just, if they can't see nothing in front of them that look like success, when they shut their door in their house at night, when them bullets flying all across your house, when them bullets is shooting all through our community, when we keep hearing all this negative stuff about our community, man, I want to be the ray of hope that tells somebody, child, that they can make it, man.
And you are.
Just that simple, man.
Yeah, definitely you are. And you touched on Dr. King, and I didn't ask you the question, what does Dr. King mean to you?
Well, Dr. King, in one of the speeches, spoke about when the disciples asked Jesus Christ, about being at the table with who's gonna be your right hand. I want to be your right hand man. I can't remember. I think it was John or Peter. I can't remember who the two. But I'm drinking. So with that in mind, what Dr. King was referring to was being a drum major, and he was talking about, don't look to be the first in line for a reward. He said, if you're going to talk about me, don't talk about my Nobel Prize.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk about my many honors. He said, I want to be a drum major for righteousness and justice.
That's right.
And that's what Ray's talking about. And so that's what Dr. King, meant to me in terms of dealing with righteousness and justice. And our boycott was about justice, about being fair, about being right. I'm currently involved with the sheriff's department here in Richmond and helping folks re-enter and helping folks get in jobs, and so I still do that. But that's what Dr. King, to me means to not only me, but I think he means those justice and righteousness and fairness to all the world.
That's right.
Because when you talk about Dr. Martin Luther King, that's what people think.
Universal.
No matter who you are,
Yes.
universal. Some would admit it, some won't.
That's
But they all think of his the way he championed, being a drum major, and how he sacrificed
his life.
He volunteered.
Yes.
He readily sacrificed his life, and it's all verified.
Right.
On film. So that's what it means to me.
Definitely, and to sum it all up is love. He pushed love, and then piggyback on Ray said, it's like need more love out here. It's just too much hate. Definitely too much hate. Milk, you got any words?
I'm amazed. Well, I take that back. I'm not amazed because these brothers here are my family. These guys that I talk to every day. I talk to Ray on the phone every day. My cousin Clarence is someone who I have been to give you a brief overview of who he is. Not only is he my cousin, but and my cousin Evelyn, but my mother actually sent me to them when I went to Georgetown. They at the time were living in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And so my mother, us not having family there, she entrusted me to them. And so I've been knowing them, and I've been hearing his positive energy since I was 17 or 18 years old. Mm-hmm. So everything he's saying now, I've been hearing since I was a young guy. And it was Clarence's words, and I always told him this. He always told me, he says, man, one day you're going to slow down, you're going to become an older man. I think I was maybe 24 then. He says, man, one day you're going to slow down and you're going to stop traveling the world, and then you're going to see what helping kids is all about. And so it's one of those things where here I am 20-some odd years later. Everything he told me during that time period has, believe it or not, come true. And so it's one of the things that I've been hearing this for so long, but I'm just glad that our listeners and everyone who's tuning in has a chance to hear his positive energy and what I've been hearing. And believe it or not, every summer when I would come home, at the time when I was playing pro basketball, they were living probably about 5 minutes from where I used to live. And so they would have cookouts, and we would go to their house, and they would come to our house. And just to have time to sit down and hear an older black man's experience throughout the world. And just to hear his little tidbits. And at the time, his own son was probably young. His own son was probably 5 years old. So the message that he was sharing with me was actually too much of a message for his son to understand at that time. Right. So I kind of felt like, hey, he's passing this on to you so that it can help you until he can actually explain the same thing to his own son. So it was one of those things where I didn't take it for granted. And I'm sure he can tell you that every summer when I would come back home, I would find my way back over to that cookout. Every summer they had this huge cookout. And so it was just things that the little messages between Clarence and my other uncles, my Uncle Elmo and my Uncle Bobby and some of my other family members is what kept me going. It probably sounds crazy, but things when I was over there and I didn't feel like going to practice, so I didn't want to get up. Messages like that would creep into my mind. Motivation would creep into my mind, and I would say, okay, first of all, I got to get up and do this for myself because you don't ever want to give up on anything. But I had so many people who were depending on me, not financially, but who were depending on me to carry on their legacy or to carry on and keep going, young fella, keep going. So I had a lot of pressure. It wasn't for people asking me for money, but it was pressure to not let good people down. So that's one of the things.
Positive pressure.
Positive pressure. So
positive fear in the world, we got to introduce them to that stuff, man.
Definitely.
It is, man. So that's one of the things that the people are just hearing, and I'm sure for those of our listeners that know me, they actually know who he is. Definitely, everyone knows Cousin Clarence and my cousin Lynn, but to hear him speak it to them live on my radio show, or our radio show, is kind of like a repayment. So I'm saying, okay, I listened to everything that you said. I don't want you to think I wasn't listening or that I didn't listen, but here's my way to share your message that you entrusted me with. Here's my way of putting it out live on technology and our webpage so that other young kids who were my age, 17 or 24, they can hear what he's saying, or they can hear what Raymond Neville is saying. Hear guys who have put it all on the line for athletics. And athletics has enabled all of them or these guys to go to college. And I don't know, coming from where we come from, it's not normal for African American men from the inner city to continue their education in college. It's not normal. And so it's one thing that gives me pride and pleasure knowing that we have the same struggle, we had the same adversities, we had the same people depending on us. I'm sure their mothers and family were depending on them, kind of like mine were, but it's good to get our age where we don't have to work out. We're old enough where we don't have to go to the gym if we don't want to. Now we are coaches. These guys are incredible coaches, and now we give the orders instead of taking them, but we give orders from a standpoint of, hey, this is not only going to help you in basketball, football, baseball. What we're actually telling you now is going to help you in life. So it's just part of the process, part of the beauty of life, I think, where it comes back around, the evolution. And so where I was one time receiving messages from these guys, now I'm a part of their group giving the message. And so it's just the beauty of life. Beauty of life, brother.
Yeah, it's like you say, evolution, plant the seed. It goes on and on and on. You know.
One message I was going to give Ray when I come to your camp is all, well, like I said, 3 of the Syracuse 8 are dead, but all of us graduated, and some went on to become attorneys.
Wow.
Some went on to be PhD candidates at major universities.
Yes.
So that was the message.
Yes. That's what they need to do.
That's a real output.
All that stuff you put through it still.
I have a master's degree, so that's.
Yes, and I want the book. I want the book. So not only, not only will they get to meet him,
That's yours.
But I also want them to have a chance. But I also want the kids. I want the kids to have an opportunity to actually have some of these books. So whatever I have to do, if I have to get a sponsor to pay you for some books, or but I want some of them books to be there, so they can put the face to the story that they read, because that makes it more,
Well, we'll talk because there's a situation that a book there, long leaf. They do a little special thing for schools or organizations.
Good.
Okay.
And Amazon does this thing. But long leaf is the real inside.
Okay, and I'm definitely getting the book. I'm a reader, so I'm definitely getting the book.
We'll also put the link up on our website, on social media, so that everyone who's listening in.
Leveling the playing field.
Right. The name of the book is Leveling the Playing Field. And so I will, while we're speaking, in about 5 minutes, I will be putting up the link to the book so that you guys can go onto our website. You guys can go onto our Twitter. You guys can also go on Aaron's Twitter. You can go on Raymond Neville's Twitter and find out how you can get the book. I'm sure you guys will have more questions. We'll also have him here coming back. We're planning some more segments with these guys. The time that we are now allotted is actually not enough time to hear everything that's in the hearts of these two gentlemen. So we will be having them back. We'll be having them in studio so that you guys can continue to grab some of this knowledge. Those of you who know these two gentlemen know that they practice what they preach. And so it's one of the things that wanted this to be the special show for MLK Day. Wanted to be, I know so many people in the city of Richmond, but I don't know, I kind of felt like this would be what they needed to hear on MLK Day. Some positivity, some life experiences, some Dr. King stuff, and it's just in a nutshell the hope and the love that these gentlemen bring. And so, of course, like I said, I hear this every time that I talk to them on the phone or I see them in person. But for me to have a chance to share, I'm looking at our chat now. We have so many beautiful people that took the time to chime in with us. We got James Hargrove here from John Marshall, one of my brothers. We have Kenneth and Melissa Willis down in North Carolina. And so just wanted to tell them thank you for chiming in and listening in. And also while we've been here on the text messages, I've been getting text messages. Wanted to apologize. I'm sure you guys can hear the messages coming in. The computer's pinging. But people are sending me messages, hey, cut off the ringer. But I think it's a good thing where the audience can actually hear that, hey, people are kind of interacting with us and they're hearing the message. And so it just want to say thank you to those that are tuning in tonight as well. And
so this is a radio broadcast? What is
radio broadcast? We live.
So you tell me I ain't live on TV right now?
We live on
air. Man, we put on my good suit and all that, man. We sitting up here. What the world?
Well, we got the camera.
You look at this Martin Luther King birthday, man. I got my suit on. I got my cufflinks on, man. Man, let me
Clarence has his on. Clarence
I got my church
suit and
shoes
tie.
on. I got my church shoes on and everything. I thought I got a haircut today and everything. Everything. Oh, man, I love you for this, though, man. This is starting something good, man. I'm proud of y'all, man. I'm glad I was with my man. Level in the playing field. Story at Syracuse 8.
Plenty more.
Get that inner city basketball this year. Get to meet the legend himself.
Like Ray said, we hope to have, this will be my 9th year working Ray's camp. Like he said, my first year, I think, was 2000. Shortly after my mom passed. And so I saw what he was doing, giving back to kids. And like he said, I don't know if you guys heard it well, but his camp is the only one that I know of that gives what they give: free food, free trophies, free everything, and they do not charge the parents a dime. So we're going to have some more information how you guys can get registered for Ray's camp coming up in July. We'll have a link to his website as well.
And also sponsorship. Because it costs money, and I personally will be a sponsor. I'll be a sponsor as well. So,
you want to do something to help somebody, we try to create a forum for that. A lot of people want to help kids, man. Not the only person in Richmond helping kids. Not the only coach that got the compassion. But one of the things I realized about this whole basketball thing is I use basketball as a hook to get you in the gym. See, basketball is a game. See, basketball is a game, so we use that. We know they love basketball. I love basketball, so I use basketball to get them in the gym, and we play some good basketball. We've had almost 20-something kids so far in the last, this will be my 10th year. In the last 9 years, we have over 20 kids that go to college that have been affiliated with our camp and our mentorship program. We don't lay claim to those kids. We just glorify God for allowing those kids to come to our program. I'm not a person that, worry about that kind of stuff. What I want to do in the end, when it's all said and done, man, I just want to have an impact on people that coming through the same trials and tribulations I came through as a child. That's inner city all over America, not just Richmond, Virginia. There's nothing local about love. So, love, or just like this computer right here, somebody listening might be way in Florida somewhere, man. So there's a free camp going on in Richmond every year. We're going to have our kids in a positive state of mind. We're not going to hide all the ills of life from them. We're going to deal with some of the things about parents. We give them an opportunity. We have a manhood 101 class. See, God, I told you, man, I'm not that smart to think of something like that. But 10 years ago, I thought of that. And I thought of a womanhood class. So I got women out of the community, whether it's a school teacher, a guidance counselor, or preacher, it doesn't matter. I'll get them women in there and shut that door and won't let no boys go in there. Let this particular professional woman explain to these little girls to take them tight. I ask them sometimes what to say. I said, ma'am, could you please tell them to stop wearing them tight clothes? Just, see, I got it left. I got it. And you know what? Year after year, I've had some of the most powerful women go in there, and I'm telling you, it helps so many of them girls. We have 80 girls playing basketball every summer. What?
You can buy night.
Man, I am blessed tonight. I got him and his wife come tonight. Man, I am so thankful, man. But yeah, we have classes for them. We make them take that real serious.
Awesome.
Man, we have 5 hours for 5 days, and last year the VCU Trauma Unit and Richmond Police Department, we'll give them a shout out. They definitely understand the concept and they know the impact it has on the behaviors of the kids, and they help them out. So it's just a win-win situation. Miss Carl Adams always help us. Mrs. The new sheriff of Virginia, sheriff in the city of Richmond, Miss Antoinette Irvin. She literally runs the camp. She literally is a coach at the camp. So you're going to see some positive people. It really has evolved to something good in our community, and it doesn't belong to Raymond Neville. It belongs to the city of Richmond and all the kids that, some of the kids have money and their parents bring water and stuff. They say, Ray, I got to give you some, this and that. You're not giving it to me, ma'am. And I explain it to them. And it's try to be as transparent as possible with it. I ask people to get the supplies. Somebody want to buy some hot dogs, or keep it real grassroots. That's what's wrong with our communities and our society. Everybody has to be so bullshit. We can continue to help one another if we can meet people where they at. Now, I have taken the shoes, slam off my feet, talking about Martin Luther King. I have taken the shoes right off my feet and handed it to a child because I know that child want to do better. I know he's going to do better. And sometimes they don't. But guess what? I am just like somebody, when you stop and give a homeless person something, ain't no need you worry about what they're going to do with it. They need to worry about that. You have given from your heart. You give from your spirit. You need to take your eyes off that person and let them go on the street. Whatever they do with it, it's not you. So I just give somebody the opportunity. And it's a forum at inner city basketball for anybody that want to talk to kids, that want to help a kid, anybody that got a kid that needs some help, all of that. So, you know.
When is the date and location?
Well, it's the 3rd week of July.
3rd week of July.
Every year we do it. Start on the 3rd week of July, and I'm gonna get those dates out there. We got some posters and stuff we make, and we taking donations and stuff now. From stuff. We're working on getting a T-shirt. We do it every year, but this year I wanted to be real special. I want to invite everyday people. We're not necessarily looking for the big time superstar. We had all that stuff. We've had sheriffs, we've had the chief of police, we've had Charles Oakley, just Terry Davis. We had a whole lot of NBA players. We had a lot of people from the city of Richmond. I want the community to come out and let these kids see you clap for them. You don't even have to know them, but they'll look over there and see you clapping. It's motivation. It's hope. Yeah. See, it's hope, man. Want somebody to feel like they're somebody, man.
There you go.
Also, Ray, if you don't mind, I wanted to piggyback off what you were saying, because my first couple years working the camp lasted 5 days, only 1 week. And this past year, 2017, when I was there, the city of Richmond and the
VCU
Trauma and the city police got behind you and had extended your camp from 1 week to the whole month.
Yes.
So you also, now he goes, instead of 1 week, he goes 30 days. Mm-hmm. And also, if I could get you to talk a little bit about that award that you have singled out in your mom's name, wanted you to talk a little bit about that.
It's a character award. At the camp, we don't give all basketball trophies at this camp, first of all. We give all the kids trophies. And we explain to them that this is a character trophy. You have earned this trophy by curbing, modifying, and totally changing some of the behavior that you have. I don't proclaim to change nobody, but I do know one thing. If you come in my camp Monday morning, by Friday, you would not have your pants hanging all the way down. If you come in there with the slang and this and that, you're going to know that it's another way to talk and when to use your slang. You can't keep that stuff. People, you can't take what somebody already given me negative. One thing I can do is tell you how bad it is or when to use these things. It's a time and place for everything. That's a principle in life. Those are the principles that I be talking about when people say, Ray, what's a principle? I tell them, it's what you do when ain't nobody looking at you. See, that's your character. See, and you know, while everybody looking at you, can be one person, but I explain to the kids, listen, man, and it's not sad, it's not mean, it's not nothing that you need to be concerned with as a parent. If you have been ever have made a mistake in your life, if you have ever had to say you sorry, then you know what my camp is about. If you ever had to tell anybody, I'm sorry for transgressing on you. I just want our kids to stay human, man. Do you know how many people do not say sorry in a lifetime? You know how many people are stuck on being right, and how many kids looking at their behavior and is getting in there saturated in their very thought process. So you can't tell the teacher you sorry so she can tell you sit down and go on with the class. So you got to get put all the way out to school because you sitting up in here refusing to say you sorry or thank you, ma'am. The little things that get doors open for our kids. We don't have no money in our community to give them, so we have to give them the principles of life so they can go forward in their little life, man, and be accepted and stuff, man. Yeah, I get upset about it. Yeah, I get real compassionate about it because it is one of the things that I put down in my life, and it drove me somewhere, almost murdered me, almost killed myself. By putting down the simple principles that somebody showed me, made sure I knew how to do before I left out the door, died before I can understand. So the name of the award that he's talking about is called the Juanita Neblett Character Award.
All right.
Juanita Neblett Character Award. She literally died 7 years ago. She saw the camp. She saw my transformation as a man. She saw me use these things that she taught me and my 9 brothers and sisters. She saw these things transform in our life, not just my life, but in our complete family life. And I would be remiss if I didn't tell the world or tell anybody about that camp that it derived from her. I don't have a truck that's going to pull up at the Catholic Center and a bunch of therapeutic people going to jump off their bus. I'm not standing there in the middle of Gilpin Court waiting for Nike or nobody to drop off some tennis shoes. No, I'm not doing that. What I have to give a child is inside of me. What was put inside of me, her name was Juanita Neblett.
Amen.
Wow.
God bless her and Martin Luther King.
There you go.
Also, have to give, I spoke a little bit about Clarence's son, Evan McGill, who is now 20, I'm 47. Evan must be 25. And so the same thing, of course, that he instilled in me, that Evelyn and Clarence instilled in me. Their son just finished up his education at William and Mary.
He got a master's degree.
Clap for that.
William and Mary in accounting.
Repeat that for me, brother, please.
He received a master's, undergraduate and master's degree from William and Mary College in accounting, and is now working for I think Ernst & Young in the Washington area. He just started, and hopefully that's a blessing.
It's a blessing,
Right.
For a black kid, black man, to finish the school and doing well. It's early in his career.
Right.
And he's got still a lot to learn.
Right.
But he's in a learning environment now.
Right.
So
that's
they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Clarence has his master's as well.
Yeah, I got an undergraduate from Syracuse, of course, and a master's from Howard University.
Right. And so
HU.
Right. HU. So when people say that minority kids don't follow in their parents' footsteps, I don't think that's true, because not only did his message get through to me, who I was like a son, but not blood. His message got through to his own son, and so I think it's a testament to how heavy his message is. Not only did it get through to me, who I lived 5 minutes away and would hear it not daily but weekly. His own son, who lived under the same roof, heard this message daily and took his father's wishes on to the next level. And Evan also played football down there, but he received his degree. As we know, for any man, regardless of color, to receive his degree is big. But when we talk about African American men, minority men, today on Martin Luther King Day, I think it's a testament to what he believes in and what he preaches. And so it's just a testament to having him here with us today, having Ray here with us, and
who was that one on the phone, man? Somebody was calling in for sponsorship. Somebody make us some water or something, man.
Let me not. I would be remiss if I did not mention my wife and Evan's mom and our mother.
Who is live here with us, by the way.
But she is also, a graduate of VCU, graduate of the University of Pittsburgh, graduate of Virginia Tech, and so she's got a few. And she came from modest beginnings, as we know, but so she was really very instrumental and significant in terms of educating our kids and making sure they went the right way.
And she as well gives back so much to the community.
She's a little rougher than me.
She's from
Northside.
Northside.
John Marshall territory.
Northside.
John Marshall territory. But it's just a testament to Ray Nevitt. Also, we cannot forget about his kids. One in particular, who is one of my favorite. I love all of Ray's kids, but one of his kids who I see every day in the summer is Raymond Loney, who also Ray. Please help me with his accolades as well.
Yeah, well, he graduated from Fordham. He got a scholarship with the Huguenot High School. Was an all-metro football player, and he went to Fordham University in New York. And he graduated from there with a degree in sociology, and he came to Virginia Union and graduated from there with a degree in psychology.
Oh, wow.
He had 2 degrees by the time he was 23 years old.
Wow.
So God blessed him and just continued to bless him. So he spearheaded my camp, actually. He is the other director at my camp. Me and him have done so much good stuff. God, it's so good. I tell people all the time, it's so good to have a child and a son that will love you through anything. We have too many disagreements because I'm his dad. Right. We don't have disagreements, but we do have differences of things. And I tell a lot of parents a lot of times, you have to let your child explain what they're talking about.
There you go.
You can't just bet something down just because it don't look right. I'm telling you, one day he stepped up in here, he had on some skinny jeans or something. I'm telling you, man, he looked good though. He looked good in his brand. I did not know that it was skinny. I did not know because he had a coat on. And I'm telling you, man, it made me so proud, man. He said, all right, Dad, I ain't going to wear them jerseys. I don't know if he put them back on when he got outside or not, but I was like, man, them jerseys too. So, I just love him for his flexibility. He allowed me to be old school. He tried to bring me up to par.
His drive.
A lot of time he got a drive. He's just a great kid. I have another son named Cordell. He played ball at Monty at Matorka High School. And I have a daughter. I got some grandkids, but one of the special moments in my life happened 2 years ago. My son Jeremiah was born. And,
2 years old.
He's 2 years old now.
Wow! Congratulations.
His name is Jeremiah Neville. And I'm telling you, Milton, he can play, buddy.
And we love him to death.
He's 2 years old. I'm getting letters from colleges all I'm telling you, man. I ain't playing, man.
And anyone who's been to your camp knows who your son is.
Oh, man, he's super, man. He's super.
And Aaron, we can't leave you out, Aaron. I was fortunate enough when Aaron invited me to his radio show. I think it was 2 summers ago.
How about 2 years ago?
2 years ago, you invited me to your show, and talking of kids, Aaron, you had one of your kids there working with you. You were teaching him the radio game.
Mm-hmm.
I think, tell us a little bit about your son. We got to brag on your son a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I teach him, different things about. He's 21, so teach him about life and all that good stuff. But I definitely want to brag on all my kids, and I'm a new grandparent. The twins, boy and a girl.
Wow.
About 4 months old now.
Mm.
So they run me ragged. So
Twins.
yeah, twins. Yeah. So,
grandparent life, they say is the best.
I don't know what I do with 2 Jeremiah. What I do with 2 of them.
Yeah. So they definitely running me. But I got to tell the backstory about this whole show because me and Milton was talking about this for some time now, and we got to this day, and it was hoping to just do just a little kind of sort of a test run type deal and stuff. So throughout the day, you call back and forth, I'm working and everything. Next thing I know, I get these texts. Well, I got this for her. I said, Milton, we don't got a night. I mean, how many? As in, like, we're gonna do a show for a whole 4 or 5 hours to a week, you know.
That's
I know. Yeah, I know.
He'll do it.
That's why.
I'm excited about something.
That's what I love about him and stuff. And I always love his energy, man. You know, we go back, and you know, and I was like, you know, when he want to do it, I just got to jump on board. You can't slow the train down. So, you know, definitely, shout out to you as well. And
thank you, Milton. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. With
it's my pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
All of us, man. This wouldn't be going on without this brother here, because when I went to his show the first time, they say, I guess it's the bug. What do they call it? The entertainment bug. I guess everyone wants to be on TV. Well, that's not my thing. I want to get this message out.
You mean tell me we still ain't on TV yet, man?
No, we're on Instagram Live, but we still on.
Let me tell you something, man. I got on my suit. Let me tell you something. I don't see my shoes. I don't put these shoes on for nobody.
Alligator.
Don't you put it on
But it's just the positivity. I think that when we combine our skills, man, and just network with the positive people that we have who are in our phone. I mean, these are people that I talk to every day. So it's something that we would normally be doing anyway. We would probably be somewhere sitting here in this lobby talking if the cameras and stuff weren't rolling. But I think it's a way to get out a message. And hopefully, like I heard Magic Johnson say one time when I was a young man, maybe 1994 or 5. Magic Johnson says that when he goes around and he does these camps and he does these speaking engagements, that he doesn't expect to get through to every kid in the audience. He just wants to get through to one. And so I feel the same way. If we can get through to one kid, or when I go to Ray's camp, if I can get through to one kid who understands, hey, I'm just here to help. I'm not here to tell any lies. I'm going to give it to you straight. But if you can see, like Mr. Neville says, when you go and you see these kids in high school, when you see them in college, and then you see them with their own families that they've raised, and it kind of solidifies that Magic Johnson theory, as I call it, that if you can get through to one kid, you may be able to keep that one kid from putting a gun in his hand, or keep that one kid in the gym or on the football field, whereas his friends may be saying, hey, man, let's go rob a 7-Eleven, or let's go steal a car, let's go break into a house. If you can get through to that one kid and you say, hey, when you are about to do something crazy, think about Coach Bell, or Coach Neville, or Coach McGill, or Coach Turner. And that one, I've been there myself. When I was about to think to do something crazy, I would think about, man, what would my mother say? If she knew I was doing this. And so it sounds corny. I know it sounds corny, but if you can think about one of us who is sitting here and say, man, Coach McGill wouldn't want me to do that. Or Coach Neville wouldn't want me to do that. And so if you can get that one kid to do an about face, I think that's the job that we all set out to do, brother.
Definitely.
I think that's it.
And I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap the broadcast up and end it with this is a dream right here. This is a king dream right here for what we're doing. Yes. And our accomplishments, and individual accomplishments from the Syracuse 8, the Ray Neville camps. I mean, this list goes on and on. And we're talking about the education accolades of our kids and everything. So that's what King was talking about.
Thank you, Dr. King.
Thank you,
Dr. King.
Thank you, Dr. King. Hey, before we wrap up, did you want to play this piece that we have? And we actually have a Dr. King piece that we would like to share with the people who are listening. We will end this, and what we will do is we will then start our Dr. King quotes, and we have some vocal footage that we have. So we want to say thank you to everyone. We want to wrap up the talking, and then we want to leave you guys with some Dr. King spiritual, some good words from the great Dr. King, who today is his day. And want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in and listening to us, and for putting up with our ringtones. We'll try to do a little bit better next time. So thanks to everyone. We will be letting you guys know about our next podcast, and we will be having, I think Aaron said before, we'll have Coach Neville and Coach McGill back at a later time, and we'll probably go on and have them for part 3, part 4, part 5. Please be looking out for the link to Coach McGill's book,
Yes.
and also the more information on Coach Nevis' camp.
Donations for his camp. You got to put that out
Right.
there, especially for our folks.
Right.
Donations
for
it take. No, let me clarify this, and you know, Ray can back me up. He say free,
right. It's
but
free.
it takes money to operate a free camp. Let that sink in. Whoever listens.
For 300 kids. Not
For 300 kids.
It's well spent money. It's transparent, man. You get to see your child change some behavior. I see people paying a lot of money for these AAU camps, different camps, and the kid won't even come home and make his bed up. You go through all that, and your kid don't even, so we want to help the kids get conscious, man. Help me out so we can get them quality instead of just going to the inner city, just throwing something over there to them. So we want to get them some quality. That's our 10th year. We need all of your help. Appreciate y'all, brothers, shouting us out, man. I want to give a shout out to the new sheriff of the city of Richmond right quick before we start, Miss Antoinette Herb.
Yes, definitely.
She's really an integral part of my camp. And
Dr.
I'm so thankful for her. A lot of people don't know, but did y'all know she could shoot a jumper, man? Did y'all have any idea?
I heard.
I saw it.
Yeah,
She could shoot.
game.
She was something, man. And now she's shooting guns, so everybody look at shooting guns now. Watch her now.
I might see her tomorrow. I'm going to tell her.
That's it. I love her so much.
Okay. Signing out. Thank everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Sending lots of love and positive energy on Dr. MLK Day.
There you go.
All right, let's see.
Man.
Do you want us to stop broadcasting?
Yes.